All right, today I'm going to be, and you guys are watching. Thank you. This is my first attempt at a video like this. Today I'm going to be doing probably 4-cup dirty pour with 10 colors and white. So I think that I mix pretty thick comparative to other people, but it's what's worked out for me. It's still running, there was a little lump, running off the stick in a long stream, and kind of just a little tiny buildup down here, you can see. It's not good when I don't think it's good when it completely melts on the top and you don't see a little bit of a lump there when you're testing like this. All right, so when I'm doing this many colors, I do not pour from up high, I'm terrible camera angle here, but 10 or 12 inches. Which is what I like to do if I have a really limited color palette. If I'm doing it with a whole bunch of colors, it would get muddy. The colors would all mix and get muddy real quick. So what I do with this many colors is just layer them on top of each other. I've got 3 transparent, this violet, and these are all PBO Studio acrylics. This is violet, this is Venice red, and this is Venice yellow. And those 3 are the transparent. I've got 2 semi-transparent, and they're both iridescent. They're so pretty. This one is iridescent blue-black. Blue-black. And this is iridescent yellow-orange. Or no, yellow-orange. I had gone off any kind of iridescent or metallic paint for a while because it seemed like anytime I used them, something bad would happen. Not like an earthquake but it would just, the paint would separate or it'd have texture I didn't like. So, but since I've been using these PBO, the 2 iridescents, these iridescent colors work out good. All right, for the opaques, I've got turquoise and red ochre. Red ochre, which I think is such a pretty color, especially with turquoise. I've got yellow ochre. Some lumps, I think, from I had strained the Floetrol. I put just a tiny bit of Floetrol in at the end. And I'd strained it and put it into a new bottle, which was the first time I'd done that. Thinking that then I got all the lumps out, but apparently the lumps continue to develop even after they've been strained. So you probably might be a good idea to strain it every time you use it. Maybe strain it while it's going into the paint. I don't know. I'm probably not going to get that elaborate. Oh, but God, there's another lump. Anyway, this is Prussian blue. And I got titanium buff and titanium white. All right. So last time I did this in 4 cups, it turned out to be a 8-minute long video. And while I find it fascinating, I think that it might be a little much. So I'm going to do a little bit of the first cup. You'll get the idea, and then I'll speed it up. All right, I usually start with white, primarily because everyone seems to start with white. Then I'm going to come in with a transparent and just kind of layer it on top there. I'm going to come in with a opaque. And another opaque. That iridescent orange. It's really hard to see me pouring in there, isn't it? And then the transparent yellow ochre. I want to see the difference. You know, I've got a transparent and a opaque of both basically the same colors for the yellows and rusty colors. So, and that's really because I want to see the difference here in the cells. I mean, what exactly is the purpose? And I know it's important, but what is the purpose of the transparent and opaque? So if anyone knows, I would love for you to, you know, describe the mechanics of that in the comments, because it's just something I've been curious about. And you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to add silicone to all these colors. So, dadgummit it. I'm going to pause the video and do that, and I'll be back. Layering transparent and opaques, semi-opaques. And right now I think I'm going to pour the white from up high. Just a little. Come in with another transparent. Another transparent. This blue black. Uh-oh. Pour from up high, tighten buff. Just a tiny bit. And turquoise. And I think doing it like this too is the reason I've been getting kind of a tapestry looking stripes striated, which I'm just loving. Well, I'm getting that kind of look. So there's one, and might speed up for the other three. So this turned out to be just a beautiful painting. It's the largest I've done. It's been here for about probably an hour now, and it's continued to develop. The cells getting larger. At first I thought it wasn't going to react again, which has happened the last 2 times. I mean, but it's on all of them, it's reacted just slower, more developing. I've been using less silicone, so I think that's it. So this is the largest I've done, like I said, and I knew that one day the day would come that I would have to figure out a way to cover a larger painting so that the bugs don't get in there. So this is what I'm going to do. Oh, I hope it works because I just love this so much. I'm going to, over these buckets, use a plastic tablecloth I got at the dollar store and cover it and tuck it in and cross my fingers. I came in this morning and this beautiful painting had a giant moth in it, and I had kept it covered that night with just this much space. And a moth got in there. So what I did, I could hardly see it. Anyway, it's melted in there. I did it this morning, you know, the day after the pour. I think it was right here. And I just poured over where the moth had made it get muddy. But I cannot see it. A little bug got in here, looks like, as you can see the area where he crawled and died. But anyway, I've never tried that, and oh, it was up here. That's where it was. This is where I was looking at it upside down. You can see where the outline of where the moth was, and where I poured over this blue stripe that went over the red, and it worked. In the past, you know, I've had paintings and I've been scared to do anything. You know, you wake up the next morning and there's a bug, and I've been scared to do anything. So I'm glad I did something, and I'm glad it melted in. Kind of, it was still wet enough. So I'm going to cover this again tonight. I'm going to let that down. All right, but back to this. So that's what I'm going to do. All right, I have added to my makeshift painting cover. I'm going to use this tablecloth that I've tucked in. I think I'm going to put another tablecloth over the middle and tuck it in. Or no, probably have to tape it because they're just not wide enough. So, but I want it tight across the top with no chance of falling into the paint. I wish I could move these buckets out a little further because it's going to be pretty close, you know, closer than I'd like. But I think it's going to work. I'm going to have to get my husband to help me do this because otherwise I think I'd probably drag it through there accidentally. So that's a pretty part. Alright, happy pouring and wish me luck and no moths.